We're talking about smoking. 흡연.
Oh, but then why is this an issue again now?
So also singers like Sabrina Carpenter and Charlie XCX, they prominently feature smoking in their music videos. And the vibe has changed.
Today's 영화 할 결심. What are we covering?
This was a trend which really went out of style, not so much because trends change, but because science advanced and people realized it was unhealthy. We're talking about smoking. 흡연.
Oh,
and
흡연.
Gen Z's feelings about 담배를 피워요.
I like how you said, but with the science advancements that we see today, people realize that, hey, it is unhealthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because there was a time people did not know.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm watching a show, and the setting is like in the 1950s,
Oh, yes.
1960s. And people are just smoking everywhere in the house, in restaurants, with their dinner, with their kids next to them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But I'm sure, like you just said, with the science that we have these days especially, I feel like you're still smoking. I mean, that's what some people might think.
Right.
But smoking has been for a long time, and I'm sure a lot of our 부스타들, our listeners, have learned in school for some time that smoking is unhealthy and dangerous.
Yes.
But then why is this an issue again now?
Because around the world, pop culture has a big influence on what's trending. So what we see on TV shows and in magazines, it really influences what other people will want to try or copy. This leads us to why a recent Vanity Fair magazine cover in the United States already has older generations a bit worried. So to give some background here, Vanity Fair, it's an American magazine famous for fashion, cultural topics, or scandals, a little bit of gossip in there. So when their spring 2026 issue featured American reality TV show star Kylie Jenner sitting on a bed, lighting up a cigarette with a photography style which seemed to glamorize smoking, people became concerned.
Yeah, because back when, not cigarettes first came out, but when they really started marketing cigarettes, right? That was the concept they were going for. Like, only cool people smoke.
Right.
That's why you only had, like, cowboys and like people with like aviator sunglasses and leather jackets smoking.
Like the outlaws.
Yeah, outlaws.
The bad boys.
Or what do you call it in the U.S.? I don't think they sell it here, but like Joe Camel with the sunglasses.
Right.
Right? 그래서 담배 피면 뭐 멋진 사람 된다.
Right.
This was, how they used to market it back then.
Yeah.
But now people are worried because it seems like, that style of marketing is coming around again.
It's not only the marketing, and it's because it's bigger than this one magazine cover. So also singers like Sabrina Carpenter and Charlie XCX, they prominently feature smoking in their music videos. And the vibe has changed. Previously, when famous people were photographed smoking, it was framed as more of a gotcha moment. This kind of like moment of, oh, paparazzi caught you, and then kind of publicly shamed them for indulging in bad habits. We can see this happening to Timothée Chalamet. Back in 2023, he was photographed smoking at a Beyoncé concert. And people said he was setting a bad example for his young followers. He was really attacked online. Others labeled him ick. So there were very strong feelings against smoking just in 2023.
Yeah.
However, now, just 3 years later, Sabrina Carpenter released her Man-Child music video featuring her smoking in a few different shots and scenes. Instead of labeling it ick, commenters have largely labeled her smoking in the video as, quote, vintage, old Hollywood, or nostalgic, which is like 기리운 Americana.
I see a little bit of double standard going on here, but, I'm not, backing, one person over the other. It's something that a lot of people think should be maybe even censored or done behind the scenes, not out in public. That's why here in Korea, right, even if like a cigarette is featured, like not maybe necessarily like a movie will show it, but like dramas on TV, right, they'll like pixelate or censor like the cigarette and everything.
Right.
Okay?
It is. It is. But here's the thing. There's a 20-year cycle with fashion trends. That's not just a saying either. Northwestern University actually studied 160 years of fashion trends, and they have confirmed this. So now, while smoking is not like a shirt, it kind of follows some of these fashion trends to an extent. So Gen Z, famous for wellness rhetoric and these wellness influencers, they have really overwhelmed and burned people out to the point where the previous clean girl trend is now ending, and a darker trend similar to Charlie XCX's Brat Summer, that seems to be on the upswing.
Okay.
So we're talking indie and grunge looks together with old Hollywood glamour making their return. So the current vibe is, we don't care because the world is burning. That's how the next trend is described. So basically, with all the turmoil, all the problems in the world right now, it doesn't matter if we smoke or not, says trendsetters in Gen Z, which is interesting because, like we said, trend analysts are saying Gen Zs are still interested in wellness.
Okay.
But these days, 20-somethings are going to yoga and then smoking after yoga class.
그거 한국에도 보여요. 열심히 등산해가지고 올라갔다 내려오는데 how do they reward themselves? With a bottle of makgeolli. It does look a little contradictory, but if people are saying that smoking seems vintage these days, then this must be already been a big trend in the past, right? Like you mentioned, it's a 20-year cycle that this thing takes place.
Absolutely. You know, all of this happened before, back in the 1930s to the 1950s, also known as the golden age of Hollywood, right? American movies really glamorized smoking.
영화에 그런 장면들이 있잖아요. Like a lady takes out a cigarette and like 20 guys take out their lighters and try to light it for her.
As she's wearing a beautiful ball gown,
그쵸, very
perfectly
glittery.
coiffed hair. It was very glamorized. And beyond that, at that time, 2/3 of all big movie stars in the U.S. were promoting tobacco products. They were paid promoters. And at that time, the trend was quiet luxury. That's what's still trending now, right?
Okay.
That quiet luxury.
맞아요.
But, you know, of course, the prevalence of smoking back in the day, it wasn't only because of Hollywood. There was also World War I and World War II going on at that time, because we're talking 1930 to the 1950s, and cigarettes were included in soldiers' rations. In the 2 decades between 1930 and 1950, smoking rates increased about 1% per year until 1954. America hit an all-time peak. 45% of all Americans were smoking. The only thing that brought the number of smokers down was research. Science. In 1954, the Hammond Horn study, which linked smoking to lung cancer, was published, and then people started to quit smoking.
But going back to Gen Zs and smoking, but people these days already know, and the science behind it, just how smoking is so unhealthy. Won't that just prevent the trend from coming up again?
That's the hope. However, although Gen Zs have definitely learned in school that smoking is unhealthy, it's linked to cancer, they've never actually lived in a world of cigarette smoke, right? So here in Korea also, there are now laws. People can't smoke in bathrooms. People can't smoke in front of the bus stop. So it's generally much easier to avoid secondhand smoke. However, back in the day, before people around the world fully realized the consequences of secondhand smoke, there were people smoking in trains and in planes even, right? All hotels and restaurants had smoking sections. Even when I was a kid, remember if you read so many books, you got a free little pizza.
Yeah.
And that pizza restaurant had the smoking section.
Oh, yeah.
So because Gen Z never lived in a smoker's world, they might not fully realize the consequences of that. And in addition, when you have sources from pop culture influencing people's ideas about how dangerous something is, then there's the risk of normalizing or glamorizing this kind of behavior.
맞아요. Like the Gen Zers, they don't know. Like you mentioned, like at the pizza restaurant, right?
Yes.
So that's why Gen Zs who didn't grow up with cigarette smoke everywhere, they have different ideas about smoking, I feel like.
Yes. So, for example, smoking rates, they hit record lows in 2024. Less than 10% of Americans smoke. That's a record. However, in a Duke University study from 2015 already, so this change has been happening for a while, people already expressed a decrease in their concern levels, showing they don't believe smoking was as serious of a problem to health. So already back in 2015, people's attitudes about how dangerous is smoking, they are feeling like it's less and less serious. Another problem, Gen Z's documented love of vaping. It's a short leap
맞아요.
from vaping to smoking.
네.
So the important thing is to remember smoking is not a fashion trend, like
Yeah.
buying a new pair of pants, right? This is permanently damaging your lungs, skin, all over your body. So the choice to smoke is each person's, but don't go out and smoke to keep up with some kind of trend or vibe. It's not the same as buying new shoes or
맞아요.
changing your pants or
Yeah.
doing some K-beauty, whatever. This trend is quite different.
네, it's your choice, but the science is there. It's unhealthy. All right. All right. Well, Melissa, thank you so much. Another very informative episode of 영할 결심. You have yourself a good rest of your night. And we'll see you back here next week.
Yes, absolutely. I'll see you next week with more.